She got a beautiful, beautiful, incredible success story sitting next to me.
I used to work for George Steinbrenner, by the way.
Diane Dixon. She's a woman. First of all, nothing great happens unless it starts in Brooklyn, which is one of my main thing I love about her right away. She comes from my hometown, or I come from her hometown, whatever way you want to look at it. A gold medal winner, silver medal winner. And she's done a lot on TV. She probably could run this program better than me and do this program better than me. But I love it, Diane. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I got a lot of things on my mind. I'm doing well, and I kind of been begging you and bugging you to come up here and do this because I don't get to talk to a lot of women athletes,
Right.
and get their perspective of what's going on now, gymnastics, Olympics, stuff like that. Before we get there, how are you doing? What's going on with you? And what's happening? What's hot? What's not?
Well, I have a couple of things going on. I wrote a sports program called Sports Shops and Skills Development Curriculum for K to 12, trying to get in the school system.
So you're working with kids?
Yeah, I work with kids and adults, but mostly kids. They're like 11 to 16 age range where their hormones start getting crazy, and got to try to direct them in the right direction. So
that's everything. We can't spend enough time with kids. I mean, I would redirect everything. But where are you doing this?
right now I'm just doing it. I'm trying to put them in the school system. I do it on my own. So like I'll write a proposal, submit it to the schools to see if they want this program. A lot of schools can't afford the program, so I'll just like kind of donate it to them to see if they like it, so that if they do like it in the future they can purchase it if they want to continue it. So it's like about like a 12-week program. It would be after school.
And what's the takeaway from a child that goes through this program?
A lot of life skills, health related, physical fitness, staying in shape. You have some kids who are overweight, who cannot participate in some sports. So this particular curriculum helps them to build themselves up, that they don't have to be the fastest or the quickest, because people that maybe upset with their weight, they maybe can do the shot put, they can do some other type of events catered towards, their self-esteem. They don't have to feel left out. So as far as physical fitness is concerned, I think it's important for kids to all have an opportunity to participate and feel good about themselves in a physical education class.
How hard is it? I mean, think about you growing up in Brooklyn. I mean, did you ever think you were gonna get to the Olympics, track and field? Like, how hard is it to get? How hard was it for you to get to that place?
It was very hard and difficult. I know when I was 12 years old, I decided that I wanted to compete in track and field.
How fast were you?
Well, I didn't know how fast I was until I got down to this event called the Colgate Women's Games. And that's an event for women, obviously, from ages 6 to 60. You compete on a weekly basis. You get points. At the end of 6 weeks, you go to semifinals, you go to the finals. Then you get monetary awards. A lot of high school coaches, collegiate coaches come to this event to try to pick and choose who they want to follow to see what they're going to do in the future. I happened to be really good when I was really young. So in high school, I went to Brooklyn Tech, and I had over two.
You're smart.
Smart engineer.
You gotta get. Don't just drop Brooklyn Tech on me like that.
I went to Brooklyn Tech. I had over.
I just happened to go to Brooklyn Tech. That was like a school you had to apply to get into and pass some tests and get some grades. Girl, come on.
Oh, that's back then.
Don't start downplaying me over here, man. I'm a Brooklyn guy. I mean, the smart went to Brooklyn Tech.
Yeah, Brooklyn Tech, Stuyvesant, and Bronx High School of Science.
Exactly.
I had over 200 scholarship offers. I was
so you were fast. How fast were you?
Well, ranked number 2 in the country in high school.
So you were Speedy Gonzalez. You
were a hot
commodity.
Yeah, I'm still hot. But I was part of a track team, and the coach at the time really dedicated himself to making sure that we got a great, solid education, and also was able to go to school on full scholarship, so our parents didn't have to pay.
Because probably tough to go to college.
Ohio State was at that time was like $50K. Now it was like probably $200K. I don't know, $100K, but it was about $50,000. And I took 3 of my teammates with me as a bonus.
You had some clout. You said, "I'll come," but they're coming with me.
Yeah, they had to come
was it like that though? It was like, I'll come, but like I gotta have my sisters. Was it like that or no?
Yeah, it was.
It was like that. Now, because, people don't realize this, they just think it's all about the winning in football and basketball, but on the collegiate level, they want to win in all the sports. I want to say they'll cheat at everything, but they will do everything they can to win on all sports, right?
I used to be a part-time coach for several colleges, so I spoke to some Division I 4-year coaches. They told me that they go after kids who have good grades, have talent, but have to score points. So I was like kind of unsure. They said, yeah, you have to be able to go out the first day and come back the second day and score points. It's all about the point system and winning championships and building a team so that, I guess that's where the economics comes in. But typically a good Division I school 4-year with a good football program can kind of like fund other programs.
No question. What do you tell your younger self, though, now that you know what you know and have been through what you've been through? What do you tell the 10, 11-year-old Diane Dixon?
Keep your big mouth shut. No, I mean, when I was 11 and 12, Lord, I'm still the same. I was always very aggressive, very kind of like, it's just like my coach coached my personality. I've always been a leader, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. Like I could be the mayor, I could be de Blasio if I wanted to.
I like the way you're thinking.
My attitude was always above the rest, and sometimes.
Well, explain what that means. Like,
to be humble,
aggressive, but be aggressive,
aggressive. I call it confident. So, in my track accolades, I was very confident, and I was always very had to be very. Always have that winning attitude all the time. I mean, I even have a program called the Diane Dixon Winning Strategy to tell you.
What's that?
Well, it tells you how somebody can say something to you, and if you go out and do it, that's that winning attitude. When I was 12 years old, when I first walked into the Pratt Institute, for instance, I was running for 2 or 3 weeks. My times were better than anybody else's that were in competition. I wasn't on any team, just a walk-on. So one of the officials pulled me to the side and said to me, your time is really good. We want to put you in a seat of heat. I said, what's a seat of heat? They start you in lanes, and you get points. Prior, I was starting with everybody else without getting points. So I ran the top time for the 400 meters in middle school. So she said, go out there, run a lap. When you see the lady on the turn with the flag, I want you to cut in, and I want you to come in, get to the front, and I want you to win. I said, that's it? That's all I have to do is go out there and run, and that's what I did. I was told to do it, and I did it.
Well, you follow that direction. And you have swagger, girl. It's swagger, north of confidence and south of kind of arrogant.
I've always had that kind of
swagger. You got swagger. That's Joe Palmieri talks about. It's north of confidence, south of arrogant. But what do you think about the whole Time's Up thing? And what do you think about what happened with the kids with the Olympics with Michigan State and did you sense any of that kind of stuff going on, or
with the
basically with as far as men overstepping their boundaries in your process of the Olympics, anything like that, or?
You mean the Me Too?
Yeah, the Me Too. Did I say Time's Up?
There's always a Me Too.
The Me Too.
There's been a Me Too forever.
Yeah, there is. No question.
People just started talking about it 30, 40 years later.
But do you feel like that process was happening in your time?
Absolutely. I mean, there was a lot of, I have a book coming out called Confessions of a Sprint Queen, How I Turn My Sins into Blessings.
Which is what we all need to do, turn our disappointments, sins, and they're all really blessings in disguise. But have you started writing this book? Is this real?
I have 100 pages.
What's stopping you from writing the rest of it?
I have to change some names to protect the guilty.
Oh, okay. You're afraid you don't want to go out there like that. But why not? Seems like everybody else is.
Well, I want it to be more motivational. I want it to be where people have come into my life and made a difference in a positive way, whether it was positive or negative or came in negative and I turned it into positive. So now, I want to rebrand myself and people want to hear. I have my past is very colorful, but it's very delightful as well. And I think coming from Brooklyn, inner city, going to the Olympics, And then coming back and to win medals. I was the first American woman to win a World Indoor Championship in '91. I broke.
You must have been the pride and joy of Brooklyn.
I was. But
I mean, you got to be one hot tamale. I mean,
but tell De Blasio to give me a proclamation, please, because he hasn't done that.
He's not good at that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, he should.
There's no question.
New Jersey gave me a proclamation.
And how about, but, has Brooklyn given you a proclamation or no?
Giuliani did.
Yeah, Giuliani, he gets that stuff. They get that stuff, and maybe it'll come around. But where did you grow up? Like where in Brooklyn?
Crown Heights. Tough.
So this wasn't easy walking, but back to the Me Too part of it all. Just was that an issue or not really that big? Is it overstated in the bigger picture of it? Meaning, or was it just happening in very specific areas? It's a horrible thing.
No, it's just that you have a lot of young athletes or had who maybe got sponsorship from a male person, and in fact might have indirectly, made some kind of suggestion. I mean, I don't know. I've had.
So you felt like guys were doing a pay to play.
Yeah.
That sucks.
The sad part about it is that
it's horrible.
The voices are coming out now, but
Yeah.
I know some voices that will never come out only because it's been so long, and I guess maybe I'm not saying these women were involved, but some were, complacent. Some were saying, okay, it was okay, but now it's not okay. Don't get me wrong, please. I don't want nobody to go on my social media account and attack me.
But I don't on social media. Just don't attack her.
But I know for a fact that.
By the way, you have a question for Diane Dixon. We're going to take some Q&A. We love hearing from you. We don't get to talk to Olympic athletes that often, no?
I know a particular individual who I'm not going to name at all. He's already in trouble. That had offered gifts in exchange for, but
now,
it is what it is. I mean, sometimes, if they needed the income or the money, back then, 20 years ago, they needed the money, and I didn't knock the hustle, I wasn't involved because when it came to my way, I was like, no, thank you. You had it where coaches overstep the boundaries with the athletes. That's another Me Too.
Like how?
You know how coaches.
I don't know. I coached a lot of kids, and I was like, "Win, let's win." But from a physicality standpoint, overstepping.
Well, we know the gymnastics story. That's old,
Yeah.
Well, not old, but it's still going on. But I mean, track and field was a little bit different. People are not gonna come out and say anything right now because.
But there was that kind of shenanigans going on.
Oh, absolutely. Actually, somebody did just recently. It came out that they were a little bit too friendly with their athletes, and it just came out. But across the board, as far as in the professional sport, we're professionals, so we know how to handle ourselves. But as far as prior to becoming a professional, collegiately wise, I didn't experience that. My coach was very heads on. But I've witnessed other people who have come to me to say, "Wow, this is going on." I'm like,
so your Ohio State experience was?
It was mainly Rollins was my coach. God bless her soul. But I mean, I've had collegiate friends who come over to me to say, "This coach did X, Y, and Z," and I'm like, "What you gonna do?" So it's
that stinks.
Well,
Now, were you friendly with Jackie Joyner Kersee?
That's my girl.
I gotta tell you something. We talk about proclamation. I mean, she deserves more props.
It's so
She's
funny.
She's special, and both of you are driven with helping kids, right?
I always said Jackie should be. I always wanted to see her much more involved with track and field. She's huge in Europe. Now remember, track and field is 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. Should I say number 10 here in the United States, unless it's an Olympic year. In an Olympic year, it's like up there with gymnastics and swimming and tennis. But non-Olympic years is very tough because no one's paying attention.
Are you hot in Europe? You still have a name in Europe?
I still get fan mail.
Yeah.
If I was in Europe, I'd be rich. I wouldn't have to work.
Why not just move there? Have you thought about that, or?
I thought about moving to Singapore.
It's not a bad place to live.
No, it's really nice.
And no smoking, no drugs. It's clean, beautiful,
very clean.
Right?
So, but
what's stopping you? Do you think about moving to Singapore or something like that, or are you just the Brooklyn?
I have a dream job. I want to be a roving ambassador to break the barriers of cultural diversity, where everybody gets a chance to be themselves, and sport works for all. And I have a Caribbean background. My grandmother's mom was from Bermuda. Not really Caribbean, but Caribbean sort of.
Yeah.
So I would like to travel.
How do you become Caribbean sort of?
Because Bermuda, they took them under their wing. Bermuda's like in South America,
All right.
you know.
That's
so
fair.
It's Caribbean. I say
All
Caribbean. I want to say Caribbean.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I'm involved
All
with an organization called CACI, C-A-C-C-I. They're Caribbean and Trade Organization. They're located in Brooklyn, and they're trying to build relationships between the Caribbean and the United States. So I'm kind of working with them right now to get a proposal together to go travel to the Caribbean, do health and wellness programs. I have a great health and wellness program. If I tell you, I got to kill you. I can't tell you right now. It has to be an NDA.
Okay.
But it's something that no one's ever done before. I can't believe it.
I love you. You got balls. You're an entrepreneur.
I got a whole bunch of stuff
There's no
going on.
stopping you. I love that about you. I mean, because even in the last 20 years, you were always trying different things, doing different things, and not easy for not only women to do it, not to mention Afro-American women too, right? Mm-hmm. You know, it wasn't like the doors were wide open. Like they're a little more open now.
No, like I told you, I've done radio, I've done television with Leandra Riley.
Love her, the consummate
Newsport
pro,
Journal.
and Michael Lardner, her
Newsport
husband.
Journal. Yeah, so I got out of it for a while.
Gave me my first break.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That was my first break when we met on New Sport Talk when I was doing those shows. I had no idea what I was doing, but it sounded good.
So New York is tough. You know, New York is very tough. During NYC 2012, that was 96 to 06, we lost the bid to London, but it was a multi-billion-dollar deal. It would have brought so much money to...
It was big.
To Brooklyn. You know, the Yankee Stadium got built because of us. The new Met Stadium, a lot of infrastructure got built.
Not the dome that we needed.
Well, not the dome, but it was part of that.
That was part of the deal.
NYC 2012. So it benefited a lot of different sports organizations. New Yorkers just didn't want the Olympics here.
No.
So after 06, we lost the bid. Everybody decided to dissipate and move, and like that umbrella that was over us to put us like out there kind of like dissipated, like went away basically, you know. So it was like I was like the lone person that decided to stay in New York City. I stayed here. Derek Atkins was here. It's not many Olympians here.
Do you feel like the sport, just track and field, doesn't get the respect?
No, it doesn't. Nobody cares about track and field in the United States. It's such a dead issue.
I mean, you go to high schools, the tracks are all beat up in a lot of cases and stuff. I mean, right? Am I right? Or, you know, Jackie and I went to do a track and field clinic over the summer with some kids. And I'm like,
this year?
In the Bronx.
And see, I didn't even know about nobody invited me.
It was a small thing. and maybe we could do something like that. I want to go back and fix that track and field. It was in the Bronx, and it was like terrible.
Well, take the field. Richard Kahan years ago did a program with Giuliani, and we went and restored maybe 20 or 30 tracks. That was back in 2000. That's like 10, 15 years ago. So, I mean, if you and I can get together and
There's
perhaps...
so much good work to be done.
Yeah, come up to try to fix out tracks for the kids, you know. That's something I also do is track and field camps and clinics, and I think it's important because my curriculum is actually can go into a camp form.
Okay.
I think a lot of kids need to be introduced. You have to run for every sport. Track and field is one of the easiest sports to get a scholarship.
But to get the points... You got to do a bunch of different things, probably, right?
Well, not necessarily. I'm just saying when it comes to track and field, kids should be introduced. They're taking away phys ed in our schools. There are not many track clubs around. There are not many track meets. I mean, Icon Stadium is trying to have these track meets, but the stadiums are not always filled, and it's expensive to put on. Then you have... the stadium in Staten Island, and they pretty much do, I guess, a good job. I'm not too sure. I haven't been out there.
Where's your hub? Where do you work out of? Is there like a particular school, or are you working out of Brooklyn?
I travel. I'm a traveling personal trainer. I travel throughout the metropolitan area and take care of my clients. So I do personal one-on-one coaching. It's very costly, you know, so people tell me, oh, it's too much. If I had one location to put like all my programs in, that would be ideal. But the property in Brooklyn is so expensive. It's kind of tough. But if somebody would lease me out a space, all I need is like maybe like 5,000 square feet. I could work with 3,000 square feet. I could put all my programs under one roof.
Because it seems like you have all these fitness centers, and it'd be great. And you see the kids. There's no hesitance with parents having kids with trainers and this and that.
It's about the space.
But track and field scholarship just as good as a football scholarship, right? In my mind.
Yeah, it is.
And if my kid was like, I really want to play sports, I'm like, track and field's good. With that football, no. And you're too short. You can't play basketball. So that's the direction I would go. That's like a great.
Yeah, I've gone to some PSAL track meets, and I've known a lot of the coaches who do a great job in trying to prepare these kids to go to college.
Are you born with speed, or can you develop speed?
I think that the Europeans, the Russians, the Germans used to breed
speed.
Well, not okay. Let me. They would take somebody who was fast here, a female and a male, and this was years ago. It was a study done, and they made sure they would breed kids who were going to be
I know
fast.
I should have married a woman taller. Then we would have maybe a hoop player.
I mean, I think if you get two athletes together, you're going to produce athletic kids. At least one of them.
That's true. Look at Odell Beckham is
at least one. Now,
person. What do you think about Heather? Are you familiar with Heather, Odell's mom, who's an unbelievable track star?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. She's,
Odell, he just signed that $95 million
but she's got speed
contract.
too, man. When you raced against her, you raced for second. I mean, you weren't going to beat her. I think it was Heather Van Norm, I thought. Her maiden name, anyway. But she's, made for speed. I mean, she was, when I got to work with Odell, and I got to meet her, and then people were like, you met Heather? Like, Heather was like,
really?
Speedy Gonzalez. Like, oh, yeah.
Did she make any Olympic
Still running.
team? Or?
I don't know. I know she raced a lot in college. I know she's a track and field coach now down south.
Nice.
So, yeah, cool.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
Do you think about doing something like that or no?
Coaching?
Yeah.
Coaching.
You want to put your program in place?
I've gotten a lot of, dear Diane Dixon, thank you for your interest in coaching. However, we've just filled that position.
Really?
I got one in my phone.
That's crazy.
That's what I said.
When's the book coming out? we need to go create a start here. When's the book coming out?
Hold on. I got one in my phone right now. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is like serious.
Hey, Ben, any questions for her? Well, we got a couple questions from the audience.
Here.
I think maybe my first gift I'm going to get you is
Don't tell anybody.
Is a new.
Well, I just fell the other day and dropped my phone.
It happens.
So
That's why you got to put that protective thing on there. Wow, you're right. We'd like to thank you for the opportunity. University of North Carolina. I was supposed to say that? I won't say which one, though.
I get those emails all the time.
Yeah. You got to be persistent, though. We all.
You know what? It's relative.
I got all my rejection letters when I started Steiner. I don't know if I ever told you this, but when I first got started, we were a marketing company, and I sent out thousands of letters to any athlete I could think of that I could find an address. Remember, no internet back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And I probably got, like 100 rejection letters.
Wow.
And I was like, wow, maybe this is not going to work. But then all of a sudden, I got like 200 people say, yeah, you can use my name and market me, sure. Yeah. But those rejection letters were like knives in the heart. But you got to just keep going.
Well, you
only need one. You only need one. Yes, right.
My mentor, Arthur Rosenfeld, who introduced me to Ed Schroeder, who remembered me from back in the 90s, so it's why we're here today. And he always just told me to focus on one thing that you really want to do. So we came up with the program that's called the Diane Dixon Winning with Self-Confidence Program. And I think I told you about that.
Now, this is going to be, now this program is something you put into, it's more of a grade school, younger, like 10 to 16.
No. 11 to 16 is my sports program. But the winning program is talking about me becoming the Olympian, winning gold medals, having my dedication to win medals in a sport which I love for 20, 30 years. And if you can do it, I did it. So I'm saying, if you can do it, I did it. It's for any age. I have people come over to me, adults, who need to conform or change their lifestyle, who wants to just do something different. Everybody needs that mentor, that somebody in the back of your ear, because we all have a blind spot. Everybody can be great, but we're like we step back because we have a blind spot. Your blind spot is actually looking at you. And sometimes if somebody doesn't point it out to you, you don't know exactly what the blind spot is. People make a lot of money, are stuck in jobs they don't like. I don't know, if I was making 6 figures, I'm okay.
So you think, but the money grab all the time isn't enough. What was your blind spot, and who helped you pull you out of that?
My blind spot was just not believing who I am and having other people dictate what my salary should be, what my income should be. Going on interviews and being told you're overqualified. I'm not a city worker. I probably have gone on so many job interviews where I'm like, I had to double down my resume because it was 3 pages. It was a CV, make it 2 pages. And I'm like, wait a minute. As soon as you see my resume, my qualifications are so way beyond, and I have to start, I need to start thinking like them. Like, you're better than this. You need to be doing X, Y, and Z. So my mentor is now making me see how I can put all my programs on paper, write down what I want to do. Let's try to get them implemented to see where we can product place them so it's beneficial for both parties.
Because it is about how you package yourself up,
Absolutely.
not all about just what you can provide. I mean,
No.
ultimately, it's about the value you can provide, which what
Yeah.
it should be.
Right.
But a lot of times, how you package up that value. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of people misunderstand their ability, not only what they've done and where they've been, but how to package that up so it translates into the value that you can provide to the company or wherever you're trying to
Exactly.
go, right?
Olympians are very rare. If some of these companies get it, they would hire us like this.
Because it's not easy. It's not easy to do what you've done.
No, to travel.
So you got that. You got that stuff.
You got that stuff.
That's the thing. It's like the stuff. Like it's the stuff. Like how do you get the stuff that could take you from, a place in Brooklyn to on that podium,
Exactly.
which is almost
amazing.
miracle level.
Yeah, but a lot of companies, some people get it. New Yorkers are tough because we're like so camouflaged by professional sports that track and field athletes are like, hey, see you later. Olympians, gold medalists. If it's an Olympic year, we're okay. But any other state would probably name a street after me. Any other country would probably have me doing more speaking engagements and clinics and camps. But New York is tough. If you can do it here, you can do it anywhere.
That's what my mother said. She said, screw the rest of the country.
It's tough.
New York's the only
tough.
thing that matters.
Yeah, New York
you know how
is
New
tough.
Yorkers are.
They're like, they know what they like. They know what they want. They know
By the way,
what they
I
don't
love the
want.
rest of the country. I'm an
Me too.
equal opportunity around the country, but there is a thing about New Yorkers, and I have a little of that in me. It's like, what else is going on besides what's happening here? Because
Yeah.
there's so much insanity.
There's so much going
and
on.
it is short-sighted in a lot of ways, and there's some great stuff going on outside the city. But what's crazy is like when you look at Brooklyn, it's the 4th largest city in the country.
Wow.
Huge. And there's so much going on just in Brooklyn alone. It's
Yeah,
a
it
country in
is.
itself.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And I don't think people give that, like the boroughs, the respect.
The respect, yeah.
Even the Bronx, like the respect that what you could do just on a borough. And that's what I would say to you is like, hey, maybe you don't even get all the props you should get, but in Brooklyn, you should be a queen. You should be one of those people. You're like a renowned Brooklynite. I look at it.
I'm Brooklyn's best kept secret because people tell me they didn't even know I lived in Brooklyn. I was still here.
Well, let's crack open that fortune cookie.
I know. I have a blue check on Twitter, so
right.
that's kind of cool.
Now, are you a social media person? Do you respond?
Yes. I'm
You
Diane
responding?
Dixon
Are
on
you?
Instagram.
Are we connected?
I did an Instagram live. Yeah, I follow
yeah.
all your pages on Facebook. I did an
All right.
Instagram live. I went
Cool.
through the whole office. I talked about you. I said I wanted to guest host and co-host a show with you for ratings and sponsor.
We got to get you to come back in. I want to get Jackie to come back in. It'll be fun to do something with both of you out there.
She was here, I
You know?
believe, not too long ago, and I have to.
I got to tell you, man,
have to call
I
her.
love her. I fell in
She's
love with her.
amazing. She should be. She is
Special.
a queen of track and field. I think Jackie's very humble.
The
She's
humble,
very quiet.
though. And
Yeah.
her wife commitment.
If I had Jackie's talent and she had my,
I thought you were going to say her
confidence-
humility, but okay.
No, if I would have her talent with my attitude, you can forget it.
Special, though. And beautiful, too. A beautiful woman. But
Beautiful.
But, really special. You could just see
Yeah.
I don't know, this thing, we spent the day together, and I knew I was with somebody who had the stuff
She's
that
so
was
nice,
special.
and people I say as far as track and field, she's huge in Europe. I mean, they love her, but the United States, I don't think they give her enough props because of who she is. Like, I don't know what she's doing in St. Louis, but I know she has a huge foundation
I
and
agree.
she does a dinner. But when it comes to track and field, it should be Jackie Joyner and Track and Jackie Joyner. Track and Jack, you know what I'm saying? Because I
agree.
think that
Yeah.
she made a difference in sports for a very long time.
Closing remarks. What's next for you? I always say the most important thing has to be the most important thing. What's the most important thing right now for you? What's on your docket right now that's got to get done now?
My book needs to come out because I have a story to tell.
Okay.
That needs to come out like right now. Like
Do you need help with that, or do I need
have-
to step in, or are we?
Yeah, I have 100 pages. And
You know what the difference between 100 pages being finished?
but
It's 100% not done. I mean, I don't give it out. 100 pages. That's like saying, I'm 90%.
I need somebody to look at it and put it in the right, correct chronological order so that it tells a story and makes sense.
So it is a story.
It's a good story.
All right, I got to think about this. We got to get this done.
It's a good story. Look at the name, Confessions of a Olympic Sprint Queen, a Sprint Queen, just a Sprint Queen. How I turn my sins into blessings. Now, do you want it salacious or do you want it like PG?
I want the truth. So I think these days, if you're coming out with anything that's less than the truth,
okay,
then I don't think people aren't interested anymore. They've already heard enough, but they're interested in the truth. That's what I find. Like when I went out and I speak, and I had a good story, but the kids are like, that's a good story, but we got the truth. We want to know the dark, the holes.
Well, I put it on
they want to know the
Facebook
truth
about the book. I put it on Instagram and Twitter.
Okay.
And I mean, the amount of people who want my book to come out. Now, like I said, I have to change names to protect the guilty.
Your call on that.
My call.
As long as it's the truth.
But it's the truth.
Yeah.
I have receipts, as they call them. So, but I mean, it's very inspiring.
Let's make it a date that me and you get back together again with your new book.
Okay. And you got to sign my book because I have your book out there.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
But I need somebody to help me put it together. Like, if you can, like.
Well, I just finished my third book. I've got a few people that can help you put it together. That's what we do, and it'd be a blessing to help you and get you going. That's easy. It shouldn't be hard. In this day and age, actually, it's fortunately a lot easier. It's a lot easier than it's ever been. That's the good news.
I have a lot of good information that I can
And you
share.
got the energy.
Yeah, and I think
you got to go out and hustle. You got to go tell that story.
I do.
Right?
I think that the story, once that story is told, people will have a better idea of my struggles, my disappointments, my success, my greatness. I mean, it's like the whole spectrum where they can kind of relate to me from being who I am to where I'm going to be going, and to see why I have the attitude that I have, because I can be overwhelming, I can be intimidating, and no fault of my own. That's just me. I wrote a poem called I Will Be Me. And I did it I was just like getting so many people that were just like kind of questioning things about me. And that's going to be like my forward, I Will Be Me. And it just discusses, my life's journey and how different paths I've taken. I might have offended you, I apologize. I might have said something I wasn't supposed to say, I apologize. So, but it's a nice, I Will Be Me, it's nice. It brings tears to my eyes. I can't do this.
I see you get all emotional because it gets into your soul a little bit.
Yeah, because when I wrote it, I was like in a different space. I was like,
well, you're in a clarity space about basically figuring out who you are and realizing all that stuff is what it is, just stuff. It's not who you really are.
I saw Jada Pinkett Smith on Instagram about forgiveness, and she was very adamant about forgiving people. She had to forgive herself first.
Yeah.
So that was
Have you forgiven yourself?
I have. When I wrote that, I Will Be Me.
But the hard part is going back and forgiving all the other people, and even some of the people that don't deserve it, and then giving them mercy or giving them the benefit of the doubt.
You just pray about it, and you hope people forgive you for things. But other than
do you have faith? Do you have strong faith?
Yes, I do.
And tell me how you define faith.
I define faith as having a spiritual connection with yourself, believing in yourself. Having a connection to difficult situations that you can make better, believing in yourself, defining who you are, being proud of who you are, knowing that you have fault and that God forgives all, and we all make mistakes. That's why they have erasers on pencils. So my faith is in believing that I will continue to be great, and I will continue to touch lives, and I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
I believe so. I think you are. I think you are okay.
Are you making me tear up on this emotional?
Well, we're just talking. We're just having a conversation. Two old friends here, and it's nice to see you. I mean, I appreciate you coming by because I know you got a lot of stuff going on. I have admired you from afar, and
Thank you.
I don't think this journey is anywhere near the finish line.
No.
So I look forward to seeing you on the rest of this journey. Kick some butt.
Thank you.
You know, that's what you do in Brooklyn. You reset, you take a pause, and then you go after it, go after another gold medal. That's how I look at it. Because you know, people people are so discriminatory sometimes. As you get a little older, they just for some reason think I feel better than I do when 20 years ago. I feel better now and people always kind of what am I? What do you? You're no. I had that success doesn't mean you can't have another one.
No, I think that people take different careers and different paths. I mean, you know, we once an Olympian, always an Olympian. Never former, never past. I hate when people say former Olympian because we keep our medals. Unless you're like a welterweight champion, we have to give back your belt. We are always Olympians. We're just retired Olympians. You know, and we paved the way for other Olympians to come after us. And so we just don't, I think we should get more respect. And I had to put together a program, well, not a program, I had an organization called REANCO, REANCO, Retired Elite Athletes Need Career Opportunities.
I like that.
Yeah, it was retired Olympic athletes, but then the USOC threatened to sue me because I used the word Olympian. Retired Olympians need, it was called RONCO, RONCO, Retired Olympians.
You're an entrepreneur.
Stop with ideas. I love that. Needs sponsors. If you can put a little bit of fun.
But the main thing is getting the book finished and getting this program. Maybe somebody getting behind this program.
Well, yeah, my
sponsorship wise, right?
Yeah, my Winning with Self-Confidence program and my sports shops and skills development curriculum that's going to help build a student's character, their self-esteem, their determination, their willingness. You want kids to be good students. You want them to be healthy, to eat healthy. You want them to be leaders. So, you know, our up-and-coming generation needs to just, you know, the way the world is going now with these kids that get involved with these shootings and these killings, it just breaks my heart. Like, are you at the wrong place, the wrong time, you know? So I think we need more positive stuff to cover all that Facebook
Can't spend enough time with our kids.
No.
You know, you can't spend enough time in neighborhoods. And I think if you're a little lost, you're not sure what to do to help, I think you just got to get into a neighborhood.
Oh, I have my own website, too.
Where are you?
www.dianedixon400plus.com. I'm more than just a quarter miler. You like that?
I like that.
I have a lot
What am I finding on that website?
You find me. You find this curriculum. You find my winning strategy. You find all my programs. You find my personal training. You find some videos.
What's your social media of choice? What are you on all the time? It's Instagram? You're an Instagram person. I could see it. Yeah, you're Instagram. You're all over that. You're addicted. You're like a 17-year-old. I get it.
I like Instagram. I like Twitter. I don't like Facebook.
It's too slow.
Well, no, Facebook, people repost the same information. And it's going on, as we all have the internet. You know, I'll post like you and I on Facebook or maybe happy birthday, but people repost the same information. And then sometimes they repost things that I just don't want to see. And I don't know how Facebook just has your homepage where you see things that you just don't want to see. So
they could have you remove that, though. You could remove some of the
so I'm basically Instagram and Twitter. Oh, I like Snapchat.
Yeah. That's cool. That's cool. So you're out there. I'll start following you. All right, everybody. Ben, are we back later or tomorrow?
Don't have one later.
Tomorrow?
Not tomorrow.
I thought we usually do, like, before the holiday weekends, we do some kind of usually giveaway and live thing.
Tuesday morning.
Are you doing a giveaway?
Adam Schefter, we get to college football. We got Adam Schefter and NFL football and Adam Schefter from ESPN. And then tomorrow we'll be rebooting. We give away a lot of stuff before holiday weekends because as many people are really cool, they go away. A lot of people are depressed. So we like to give away really good stuff. Not bootleg stuff, good stuff. Autograph stuff, tickets to games. And we just try to liven up people's weekends with
people get depressed during the holidays, you think.
So we give away a lot of stuff tomorrow. For Labor Day, we'll give away a bunch of tickets, autograph stuff.
Well, why didn't you have me on the giveaway show? I like to give away.
Well, you can come back.
I can come back tomorrow.
Yeah, come back
to do
tomorrow.
The giveaway.
Let's give away. Yeah,
we're giving away stuff.
And we go crazy. We give away a lot of stuff.
Oh wow, nice.
I'm a fan of that. And, you know, so I love the replies I get because people don't think they're getting good stuff, but we send good stuff out.
Yeah, well, come on. Now,
why not,
Mr. Steiner?
Why not?
Project X. Now, did you come up with Project X?
Project X came about because we didn't really want anybody to know the real name. And then that ended up being the real name.
Oh, okay.
So it was like Project X. So let's just call it that. And also Project X is for all the listeners out there that are entrepreneurs that are thinking of a new idea, and we want them to come with their project, and we open it up and we try to help them by somebody watching, funding, guidance. A lot of entrepreneurs out there that get stuck. They've got a good idea, and listen, ideas go in a lot of directions, and it's a lot of times it's about just staying the course.
Right.
And we want to sometimes a little bump on the road, put you on the side of the road.
Right.
So I hope that whoever comes on, we've seen a lot of people come on with their ideas. We try to give them that little boost.
Okay.
Not like the Shark Tank where they're
I was
beating
gonna
you
say
up.
Shark Tank.
But this is obviously a free vehicle, and we want
Right.
to boost people's spirits for entrepreneurship without, oh my God, get in front of it. Let's help you. And then a lot of times people that have come on the show have gotten help from outside people watching,
Right.
because they like the idea. So sometimes sometimes you're your own toughest critic.
Yeah.
And people aren't looking at your situation as critically as you are.
That's true. We tend to be more like, oh my God, when is this going to happen? But like you said, it takes one person, one viewer to say, you know what? I like Diane Dixon. I like that winning strategy program. I like her curriculum. Come on, let's get it done. Let's put it in the school system.
Exactly. and there are a lot of people these days now that are focused and realizing they got to get into the schools and the neighborhoods. That's where if you have some time and money, if you really want to make things a little better, you got to go into the neighborhoods and help the kids. You got to pay attention to the kids and give them more support, more love, more guidance. So that's why I love going what I did with Jackie. I'm sorry I didn't call you and bring you in the picture, but maybe we'll do something else. Because I love rebuilding. I'm building a court here in New Rochelle, a basketball court.
Oh, really?
Like a West 4th version of.
Where at?
We're working with the city on where to put it.
Okay.
But I want lights, and we're gonna have this graffiti artist we work with, and it's gonna be like a cool happening
so you need
thing.
to do the New Rochelle High School track over.
You think? I thought they just kind of redid that a few years ago.
The New Rochelle High
yeah, high school.
Oh, is it New Rochelle? There's a high school that we go to when I was at.
They just kind of redid it. It's pretty good shape. Otherwise,
they
I would have
did it?
jumped on that because I coached over at Neuro, and I love Neuro. But the basketball outdoor court, I want it to be because there's a lot of New Rochelle's got its own little issues.
It's its own town.
Yeah.
When I came up here a year ago, I fell in love with New Rochelle. I was like, wow, this
special.
is so nice.
It's like my second home, Neuro. I feel closest up here to Brooklyn, like what I mean. Even though I live in Scarsdale, love Scarsdale.
How long you been here in this location?
I've been here since 2000, so 18 years.
18 years. Oh wow.
Yeah, we've been up here 18 years. So New Rochelle is like second home, and I do think if you're a business and you're in a town, in a community, you should be supporting that community.
Yeah, absolutely.
You should be planting some trees and taking care of some people. It's amazing how many people's businesses they say they support it, but they're oblivious.
Right.
Like I look at New Rochelle as my neighborhood.
Yeah.
And then even though I live in Scarsdale, and that's another responsibility.
That's
but
nice.
You know what I mean? So like I like to be here for the New Rochelle people because it's my neighborhood.
Right.
And I wish everyone would feel that way about their neighborhood, like Mr. Rogers, kind of, take care of your neighborhood, take care of your community. I mean, because it's special, and there should be a benefit. There should be a benefit to your community, the fact that you're in it.
Yeah.
And you should let those people benefit by you're in it. I told my son all the time, I was like, Dad, you don't need to do that. I said, something, there should be a benefit, the fact that I live in this town with these other kids. I don't have to do that for the kids, but why should they benefit the fact that Brandon Steiner lives in this town?
Right.
Well, there should be a benefit no matter what you do. Why not? Whatever it is you do, you should shed some of that onto the. That's how Brooklyn worked. You lived in the neighborhood. You knew the guy.
Brooklyn is the fourth largest
city in the country.
In the country.
You knew, like in Brooklyn, you knew the guy that worked for Con Ed. You had a Con Ed problem. You went over. Hey, you had a roofer. You had a roof problem.
The postal guy. You too.
Right in
Yeah.
Brooklyn, you knew you had a guy. You had all these different people that were your guys, and something happened. You always helped each other, right?
Yeah,
Your freezer broke. You had the guy to fix the freezers over there in apartment 2A, right?
Back in the day.
I love that. All right, Dan, will you not be a stranger? Will you be back?
I'm coming tomorrow. I'm going to do the giveaways.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow for the giveaways.